Hey guys, you're watching AfterBuzz TV, and this is the Cocktails with Khloe After Show, Season 1, Episode 13, Khloe Spills the OJ. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with lots of gossip and covering the show.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for this little NSYNC throwback.
Yes.
Hey guys, I'm your host Laila Sadny, and I'm joined by my awesome panel of co-hosts to my left.
Hello guys, my name is Dakota T Jones, and you can follow me on YouTube at Dakota T Jones, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Dakota T Jones.
Hey everybody, I'm Samantha Benitz. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz, BENITZ.
Yes, and you can actually find me on Twitter and Instagram at Laila Sadny. I forgot that part. So yeah, the show tonight, there was a lot of guests on the show.
There was a lot of guests.
Yeah, so
Full panel.
They even had to make, the first two leave after maybe less than 5
Like,
minutes.
Gotta
there.
go, guys.
All right,
You
see
make
you later.
room.
Yeah.
I wish those guys, I'm sorry, it was Mickey Boardman and Drew Elliott from Paper Magazine. I wish they would have stayed longer because they had a lot of really great information.
I know.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Drew is the chief creative officer, and then Mickey is the editorial director, and seeing how big Paper Magazine has gotten over the last even, I want to say, year, just because of their choice to even have, Kim Kardashian. I saw they just had Tina Shey, and then they also have had, who else?
They just had Kylie.
Yeah,
Kylie's
Kylie,
the
that's who I
newest
was
one.
thinking. Yes, I'm like, one more today that I saw. And all have been so inspiring and super cool. And I like that they show people out of their usual persona, kind of a little less glamorous, a little more something edgy, and that, fans would like to see.
Yeah, I mean, they were talking about how Kim broke the internet and how that kind of created
Right.
that term, break the internet. And they were asked, and Khloe asked them, what makes someone break the internet? And he said, when it's someone is willing to go there
Right.
and be seen in a way that they're not normally
Yeah.
seen. And Kim totally did it.
What did you think of? Okay, so whenever Kim first did this, I mean, of course, we were all kind of shocked, with the whole in the magazine when and she put down the dress and everything. But what I was more concerned about was how she balanced the champagne glass on her butt, and apparently she acts like that took a lot of training, and she had to really arch her back, and it was a thing. But do you guys really think that she balanced it on there, or do you think she had some kind of a tape or I don't know. I don't understand how it was a thing.
I think there's probably some assistance on that.
Yeah. It sounds like it'd be kind of painful to arch your tush out for that long.
I mean, when
you're
you're-
trying to take a nice photo.
When you're doing a photo shoot, it takes several hours. So I don't
even
think
for a good selfie, I mean, a lot of the people can say, you'll be there for a little bit of time, different angles, different filters, until you
seriously.
get that perfect shot.
Yeah, it was interesting though. Drew Elliott, who's the chief creative officer, he was talking about how nudity is viewed so differently in this country compared to other countries, and how Kim's nude selfie, how it caused such a an issue. What do you guys think about nudity and people posting pictures like that on Instagram?
I don't see it as a bad thing. I would say it can sometimes be oversaturated. I feel like it's such a sexualized culture these days that sometimes I'm kind of okay, just put your clothes back on because I don't need to see it all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm all about freedom of expression as well. So I don't think that there's, not a time and a place for it. But I will say that I don't need to see it every day. I'm a little tired, always saying the same old, just for salacious value. If there's art to it, then okay, I'm a little more open to the idea, I would say.
I feel like I'm more of I mean, a lot of people don't think so, but I'm more of a modest person. Nudity is kind of something that I don't really like, And, I feel like everything is so overly sexualized. And, a lot of people are if you like the Kardashians and you're obsessed with them, how are you not okay with nudity and stuff? It's
Right.
I love them as people, and, I'm all about freedom of, creating art and everything. But, sometimes I do wish, okay, I didn't
little
get,
much.
yeah, I didn't get mad at them at all because that's the way they express themselves.
Right.
But I was just kind of what, okay, we don't really need another naked
Yeah.
thing. But, if that's what you want to do, then cool. But, I was just kind of all right, keep scrolling type of thing.
Right.
I think they have all the power to do what they want to do, and that's how they're free and open, and that's what they want to do. But I do I appreciate the artistic value of something like Paper Magazine, and how he teamed her up with a photographer, Jean-Paul Gode, I believe his name was, from the 70s and 80s that normally shoots curvy women, and it just was her picture looked like it was from like 60s or 70s.
It was.
So I thought it was really cool.
And it was actually like a remake of a photo of like an African American girl who was standing there, and she was doing the same thing, only I think she was completely naked and she was balancing a champagne glass on her butt.
Oh, okay.
And, like,
Impressive nonetheless.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't try it at home, kids.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't know that they were doing like a spin-off of like something that had happened before, but she had like the similar hair, stacked up, and she was like, popping the champagne bottle. So I was surprised. I was like, oh, that's not like, so it was original because it was something new, that they
Right.
came
A new
up,
twist
came up
with
with.
it, uh-huh.
So I really loved that. Like, I love that shot of her like, popping the champagne, but like I didn't know that it was a thing that was already been done, but it was really cool.
Did you see any of the pictures that Kylie posted recently from her paper magazine?
I did. I was just going to comment. I love that they kind of use, it looks like prosthetic wigs,
Yeah,
even on
plastic.
for that first one with the cover with her kind of like pink hair, and they said they kind of overfilled her lips to
they
kind
made her
of
look very like pop,
doll.
like
Yeah.
cartoony
doll.
almost. Like it was very like Andy Warhol, like pop culture
Yeah.
pictures. Which I thought was cool. That
I was
she did
liking
that.
all the different hair colors because Kylie already does that usually with
Yeah.
her wigs and stuff, and I love that about her. I'm like, that's so cool. You rock those edgy styles because a lot of people are too afraid to, and it really doesn't work if you don't have the time or the setting or the place to do it. Because I couldn't go to work, sometimes wearing a green wig. Like
Yeah.
I would
not?
want to.
Yeah,
I would want to.
seriously.
Can we change that?
I know,
I know, right?
She actually, she's so used to people calling her out for this and that. So before she released the Instagram photo of the paper magazine cover, and she said, "Okay, guys," in parentheses, "yes, my eyes and lips
saw
are enlarged to make me look more like a doll. Like, get over it. Let's move on.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you up front so we can not have that
I mean,
conversation."
she is so criticized. She is so
Good.
criticized about her lips. So the fact that she let them enlarge them even more is I think that's cool.
I
Yeah,
liked
she's
it.
playing into it, which I like. It's like
Smart.
don't shy away from the criticism.
And
so
that's what I love about Paper Magazine is I feel like they take something that's already there and they kind of enlarge on it and be like, okay, like play fun off of it. Like, this is what she's famous for, so let's really make it like she's a doll.
Right, exactly.
And I love how playful they are with a lot of their covers, and I love always seeing what they have next because it's not like looking at a regular cover and being like, oh, there's like a cover. It's like, oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be creative.
right.
So I like that aspect of it.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I would have liked those guys to stick around because they had some
Yeah.
really interesting info. But next we have Lance Bass. Lance,
we all know
we
him
all-
from NSYNC.
Yes, I
Yes.
loved NSYNC. I can't say like I love them now. I loved NSYNC, so I love Lance. I've seen him on other shows, and I always think he's so real and so genuine. Like I would love to seriously just like be his friend.
I
Yeah.
know. Just go get coffee sometimes and talk about
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
He
and,
seems like pretty cool.
yeah, and he was saying he's been married to his husband for a year now, and it was the first gay wedding special on TV ever, and E did it.
Yeah.
And he said, when he proposed to his husband, that was the first phone call he got was from E saying, "We're doing your wedding special."
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
That's so funny. And he originally said he didn't want to do it. He was like, you know what? No, I feel like everyone who does their televised wedding special gets a divorce. And he said that, and I'm like, can we just talk about how the last E special was Kim and her, like Kim and
Khloé
Chris
and Lamar.
Humphrey? Oh yeah, did
it too.
they?
Yeah, they did it
No
too.
way. I didn't catch that. I thought
did
for
it.
some reason was it on Chloe
I think
Lamar?
it was on their show.
Okay.
It wasn't like a separate special.
Okay, it was on their show. Okay.
Yeah.
Chloe was
Still,
probably
I was like, I've seen every episode. How did I miss this?
Yeah, but still, I mean, you get married on,
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, what do you guys think about like that, getting married on national television?
I mean, I would do it. I mean, if I was that famous, like, sure, why not? I mean, Kim had her own two
She
episode
did.
special
She
called
did.
Kim's Fairy Tale Wedding Part 1, Kim's Fairy Tale Wedding Part 2. And I was down. I was like, I watched that and I was like, yes. Like, I love when they like take things like that and run with it.
Yeah, they're super cute. I will say I like the way they're kind of portrayed, and I like how they're filmed, and everything is so gorgeous. You can just tell it's like top quality cameramen and everything, just
Yeah.
the whole production team making it perfect. As long as I felt like I had some type of control over my special day, not to be a bridezilla or anything, but just like,
Yeah, no.
if you don't want so many people there, or if you don't want like
Yeah.
helicopters
Exactly.
above, like
Yeah.
just certain things that are going to make it more intimate, because that's kind of a moment you dream of.
I
So-
think, yeah, I think it's such a private moment for
Right.
me, but like it is awesome to have that footage. It's like it's like a bigger version of your wedding photo.
Yeah.
It's like, Aunt
It's like the
Jemima.
best
could have been
videographer
in-
ever.
Yeah, like Aunt Jemima could have been in the third row back with her little tape recorder, or you could have like all these
Exactly.
like beautiful cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully the marriage lasts and you have that footage for the rest of your lives
Exactly.
together.
And if not, it's awkward because people rewatch your episodes like from your previous
Yeah,
marriage.
and they dissect it if you're a celebrity. Like, oh, when you said your vows, I don't think you were really like
Yeah.
into him.
You weren't feeling it there.
Yeah.
Right.
Seriously, till death do us part, I think you said.
Well, it's cool, especially seeing that Lance was with his guy for 5 years and that they're still going strong. So it's like, I'm really happy to see this kind of stereotype broken. Just, you know, it's like, okay, good. You don't have to always succumb to media publicity or anything like that, and just kind of enjoy the run and the person you're with. So
and he goes into a little bit how Justin Timberlake was not at his wedding. And he said he gets asked that question actually a lot. I mean, at first it was kind of awkward. I felt like, I was like, oh, Justin didn't show up. But now that he explained it, that he wanted, or no, he didn't go to Justin's wedding either. He wanted the wedding to be all about Jessica Biel. Which was cute. Because I mean, he said that when all the NSYNC guys get together, it's like
a spectacle.
Which that totally makes sense.
It did. When he explained that, I was like, okay, that really just brings it home. Like, that kind of clarifies there is no bad blood. Like, clearly he was just thinking about making it a special day for his bride. And they're so adorable. I love their son, you know, Justin and Jessica. So
yeah, I mean, they're so cute.
I know. I'm glad. So it was good to hear that cleared up tonight, though. I felt like, all right. He probably has been wanting to tell people that for some time.
Yeah, I think because people always want to create drama and fights that don't exist, you know, even in real life, not just celebrity life. So
exactly.
So yeah, that's good.
I have a question. Did Lance say that him and Kris Jenner were going to come out with a show?
Yeah,
because I was trying to research that we were watching and nothing was really popping up.
Yes, and that's what I was going to bring up next. And he did say they were creating a reality music competition show where they're going to find bands, like groups, instead of like solo artists like The Voice or American Idol, which is cool because I don't know if you guys ever watched back in the day, Making the Band with Diddy.
Oh, Danity Kane was my thing.
Yes,
I had the CD. I loved
I have that too.
I watched it religiously. Like, I just love that season more than any of them, just because the girls were so good and I felt like they brought it. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, because you have all the drama. You have all the drama in the house too. Yeah. So it's like, you know, Lance was kind of explaining it. I wish we would have got to hear more about it, but he kind of got cut off. But
he got cut off for the next guest, and I was like, I want to know more.
Yeah, we'll have to find out what that show is. I'm sure they're going to start promoting it soon. Totally. I wonder what network it's going to be on.
I'm guessing E because that's
Come
like,
on, E.
yeah, Kris Jenner's like her whole empire is like on E.
And E doesn't have any like music reality.
No, it
like
doesn't.
that would be good for them.
That would be great.
I really want to know though if like part of it. I mean, it's a reality. Was it a reality that they kind of said?
It's a reality. It's like a reality competition show. So it's like they're trying to find the band, which is the competition, and then they're all living in the house together.
Oh wow!
Which is the reality.
Wait, that's what he was saying? Because I was so confused on that part. I really would love it though if they did some kind of like live taping, like, you know,
like hitting cameras.
No. I kind of really wish Cocktails with Khloe did this as well. I wish that every few episodes they would like bring in a live audience.
Oh, okay.
Because I love that feel. Like it, there just brings like a tension and a.
I bet you if it is a music competition show, there will be a live audience. I'm pretty much sure.
At some point, they'll have you perform. Like, that's definitely a part of it. And then the nerves step in and like, whew, I can't imagine. So bless their soul.
It works well. I mean, like, I'm excited to see a show with Lance Bass and Kris Jenner.
Yeah.
Kris cracks me up. I love Kris.
Yeah, they both built their own empires. So I'm like, do the thing. And like, I'm sure they'll cultivate some great talent.
And they have the Ryan Seacrest connection too.
Yeah.
He's like the king of music and radio and everything.
Yeah.
Kris actually like dabbled in the whole like music career stuff with like she was gonna help, you know, like bring some like a girl band and
I remember that
different things like that, and it just kind of didn't happen, and I was like, oh, that's so sad.
Well, her ex-husband, you know, Khloé's dad, Robert Kardashian, he did a lot of music industry stuff. He was an attorney, like an entertainment attorney, I think at first. So I think like they were trying to kind of do she was trying to do the music thing as well because she kind of like knew about it.
Right.
Which I mean, she could manage anyone. So.
I'm sure. I'm like, if she can do that, and I love what Khloé said last week. You know how, you know, they would ask how the girls would get into the spotlight, saying, "Oh, they don't have any talent. Like, what can they do? Can they sing? Can they dance?" And the fact that she brought, you know, a family, an entire, and all of her kids pretty much to superstardom, just for being themselves. There's something to say for that.
They're all brands, like all individually. So yeah, I mean, we'll get into a little more about the, you know, keeping up with the Kardashians and a little bit what Khloé was saying about when it first started.
Yeah.
But we have next Holly Robinson Peete.
Pete,
yeah. And she has a reality show that's about her family, and she did speak a lot about her son that has autism, that is 18, and I just really felt for her. It kind of like really broke my heart when she was. And we've heard other people on the show talk about their sons. Who was the last person that? She played Gina, right? On Martin.
Oh, it was Gina.
Wasn't it her? Yeah, I think it was her. But
it was like just last episode, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's just so crazy to me. Like, I mean, it's just interesting, like how there are all these like that's such a problem now, you know, that there's like all these children that have that, and
nobody's like aware of the issue. Like I feel like it's really just scrutinized a lot, and I feel for the families that go through so much, because you can just tell that everybody is so judgmental. And
I mean, people
you know,
don't understand it. I mean, people really don't understand like what it means and what it does to someone and what it can do
and
to
what they're
family.
going through. Not only the person, but you know, everybody involved that cares for their family member. So it's like, I think it's great that she spoke of it tonight, and it was super sweet that she was getting like choked up and emotional. I just wanted to like hug her, because I can tell she's such a good mother. You can just tell she is there. She's mama bear to the fullest, and that's so awesome.
She was really entertaining too. Like I want to definitely watch her show, because she was talking about,
for Pete's sake.
Yeah, she was talking about how, you know, her and her husband have been together for 20 years, which is a very rarity in the industry and in Hollywood, and that her mom is 80 and she's online dating.
I love that she said that. She's like, my mom's hot. She's a saber tooth. I love that
Not
term.
a cougar.
Not a cougar, a saber tooth.
A little more past that. But
so
just the fact that her mom is 80 and she's hot and she's online dating, like that alone is a reality show.
That should be.
So I definitely need to check that out.
That's so funny.
So next after that we have there was a lot of guests. Jamie Kennedy. Jamie Kennedy, who I almost didn't recognize. He looked totally different.
Oh my gosh, Malibu's Most Wanted. That's always what I think of when I see him. I'm like, 2003, I'm still keeping the memory alive. I know.
He's funny. I've always like really enjoyed his movies. And his like he's just a character in general.
Yeah, he was funny today. I was like, okay, is he going to be a little too like rough with like his jokes, you know, as far as like offending people? But actually, I felt like he kept it super mellow and was just kind of like funny and cool.
Yeah.
And I like that he mentioned how he was playing a doctor now on the TV series Heartbeat. So that's kind of cool to see how his career has transcended. But he did mention the show has a lot of sex. So I'm like, all right, he made it like it's kind of funny.
He pretty much explained it as you learn a lot of medical terms and there's a lot of sex.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much
that was
it.
the explanation. I'm like, I only remembered the second part, unfortunately.
He was cracking me up though when he said like they were having to do research for the show, and some of the other cast, they went to like Cedars-Sinai and watch actual like surgeries, and he's like, no, it's 6 a.m. on Tuesday. I'm not doing it.
I'm doing YouTube.
I'm going to YouTube. And yeah, that was funny. And he dated Jennifer Love Hewitt at one point.
Yeah.
He says he gets asked about that a lot, even though that was a long time ago. And he said, no one ever asks me about the relationship I had with the, you know, one manager from wherever.
Chili's.
Chili. But they always want to know about this. And he's like, that was a long time ago. And that would be kind of hard as a celebrity to be like, you know, if you dated one really, really, really famous person.
You're going to always be
just
connected.
talk about that. Yeah. Like anyone, like they wouldn't talk about the other relationships.
Yeah, especially like if that's the only like celebrity, like you, like well-known celebrity that you dated.
Yeah.
Like publicly.
Right.
Because I remember when they did date, and there was a lot of like press and media around them, and kind of like, why is she with him? And just things like, just really mean things, you know?
Yeah, they'll go there. And I feel for anybody with that, because it's like, I already feel uncomfortable if you bring up an ex-boyfriend years later. I'm like, huh? Oh, like him? I don't know. So can you imagine somebody in the spotlight when anytime you answer about them, they're going to, you know, that can end up in the press the next day. Oh, so-and-so said this about the ex, like, years later.
And
bitter
like,
much,
really?
you know?
Yeah, bitter much. And they were going on and talking about how, like, would you date someone who's not in the industry and this and that? And I think he asked Khloé, would you date someone who worked at Papa John's? And she's like, maybe, but there's no way.
I'm sorry. I was like, girl, you are not dating anyone that works at Papa John's. I am sorry. I love you, but
and
no.
if she did, I'd be like, all right, gonna go get hired at Papa John's now.
You're like, hi, you guys hiring?
Yeah, seriously. Their pizza's great, by the way.
I know. They have a good buffet. I like
Shout out to them. Oh,
Are you guys trying to get free pizza?
I am trying to get free pizza right now.
Hashtag Papa John's. Yeah, I mean, they went into the whole like dating a celebrity or not. And then we've talked a little bit about this on our show that in the industry, it's just like you really, no matter what, you have to have someone that's understanding and not someone that's like kind of like jealous in a weird way.
Right.
You know? So
yeah, I read an interview recently with Scarlett Johansson. I believe it was on E! I want to say. I'm not 100% positive, so don't quote me. But she did say that during her relationship with Ryan Reynolds, and just with things she's seen in other celebrity relationships, that competitiveness can kind of be the cause of breakups, just because both of them will be so driven and on the path to stardom, and then you have one that gets more successful, or they're both equally successful, and then the time, you know, how busy they are pulls them apart. So I can totally understand that, and I think there's a point to that. But I also think that's the same in any other type of industry, where if you're working side to side with your partner, it could get tough.
It can get tough. And like a lot of times when you're so driven and so focused focus on your career, you
Right.
should be alone, like for a while,
Right,
anyways.
right.
Like, you know, unless it's like if it's the right situation, though, it will last, and you will support each other. And sometimes, like, you know, you'll have your moment, and sometimes you'll have your moment. But like, I could see that a lot when you have two talented, driven, attractive celebrities. That they're gonna be
Right.
competitive, and there's gonna be like jealousy in the schedules, and you know, so yeah, I think it's just. You know, when it's meant to be, it's meant to be, I guess.
Yeah. It's crazy, like, especially when you're in the spotlight like that. Like, I mean, Khloé was saying, and the other guy was saying how basically, you know, paparazzi are everywhere. And even when they go on vacations, they're like, the paparazzi will rent little, I think, dinghies or whatever, and like go off and, you know, park in front of their little hut. And, you know, that's what happened to Justin Bieber whenever he got caught, like, butt naked, you know?
Yeah, they go in. I'm like,
They got it. They got it.
They got
they're
their
paying
shot.
to go get
But
out
you know
there
what?
just on the
Money
little
shot.
boat. I'm like, man, dedicated.
Struggle's
Dedicated.
real.
But you know what? If they were gonna do that shot, I mean, did you see how blurry that photo was? It was like some like little Samsung phone took it.
Yeah.
It was like, come
Yeah,
on.
you need a
if you're
high
gonna go
quality
in-
camera out there.
That needs to be like up close now.
Yeah, seriously. It's like, come on, you gotta at least bring a nice camera,
Yeah, I mean,
Waterproof camera.
just in case.
yeah, and then so when Jamie was talking about the whole operation, you know, watching people get operated on, Khloé actually opened up, and which we know she said she got a DUI when she was like 22,
Loved that episode.
and they made her go watch bodies being embalmed at the morgue.
Woo.
And basically, were they bodies that had been affected by DUIs?
Yeah, like people that have passed away from either a DUI, you know, like getting hit by a
That'll
DUI.
get the lesson, you know, cemented into your head. I'm
22?
sure it's like, woo. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a very good wake-up call. Everyone's like, oh, it's so traumatic and this and that. It's like, no, like that's the eye-opener that you need.
That's the reality.
It's true. It is true. And like when you are young, you think you are invincible and you don't think you're responsible for anything. And it is true. Like I think that would definitely scare the crap out of someone.
Right.
Like honestly, she really got off easy though. I mean, if she just had to do that and then spend 30 minutes in jail, like that hopefully taught her the lesson, you know?
Yeah, I mean, when she was telling the story of how they were like, she was in jail and she only did 30 minutes, but she was supposed to do longer, and everyone was outside, like not rioting, but like chanting, like her, like
Khloé,
like
Khloé,
and trying to get her out. Like I'm just like she's some hardened criminal or something.
Yeah.
Like,
She's
I mean,
like, I'm never going back to jail. Like, don't tell me what to do,
well,
guys.
yeah, because they started talking about like if you were in jail, would you ever, you know, for a long period of time, would you ever, you know, you're in a women's prison, like. Would you go there eventually? I'm just like, wow.
And she's like, you know, they're gonna start looking like a man.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh gosh.
I mean,
They're like, what about 1 year, 3 years in? How you feeling?
I couldn't imagine. I mean, I couldn't imagine. Like I've read like, you know, stories and like interviews with people that have spent time in prison, and like I couldn't like. Your mind, it's gotta like you have to be so strong in your mind, like for a long period of time.
Oh wow.
That I think it would, if you were weak, it would start to mess with your mind a lot.
Totally.
Like even the show, The Orange is the New Black, where you see Piper, who's like someone who's so like goody and this and that, and then all of a sudden she just gets like
You snap.
she
Yeah, it
snaps
hardens
and
you.
she's like, you know, giving herself a tattoo on the floor of the church, like assembly place. It's like, what are you doing?
You have to adapt in
She's
that,
crazy.
you know, environment. I feel like otherwise it'll eat you alive. Like you
Yeah.
have to be super strong because everybody in there has to be that way. You know, in order just to like get through it. So
Yeah.
Whew.
So yeah,
So
Chloe's 30 minutes. So it was rough.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
was scary though to think, oh
It
crap, I
probably-
may have to sleep here tonight. Like,
I mean, it's scary if you have to be in jail at all. So
yeah.
yeah. So and so after Jamie, we have Shanola Hampton, I believe.
yep, from Shameless.
Yes, which is an awesome show. I love Shameless. I kind of fell off with watching it, but when it first came out, I was like all about it.
It's like 6 seasons in now. Yeah. Good for her and good for them.
She was saying like that the cast, they just had such a good like chemistry and vibe like at first, because I think I forget, maybe Lance asked her like, did you know like it was going to get
be a
picked up?
hit,
And
right?
she's like, yeah, I knew right away.
See,
And
that's
most
so
people
good.
Yeah, most people are like, oh, I didn't know, you know, until it happened. But like, I love how she was like, no, I knew it was gonna be a hit. So cool.
Sometimes I mean that's such a cool feeling when you know you have something special, you know, and it's just like everything kind of fits. It's
Yeah.
great. But I liked her. I thought she was very funny.
Yeah.
So she's on Shameless. She was talking about how she does not drink alcohol. Well, she's pregnant now,
Yeah.
but
8 months pregnant.
yeah,
Congratulations.
Which is crazy. She's
She
so
looks
tiny.
like she's maybe 2 months pregnant or less.
She's so cute, and she's
But
like,
yeah.
yeah, I totally don't eat healthy. I'm like, she's just got like a
She's
rockin'
like
bod.
this
But
big.
yeah, she did
She works out.
post, gym selfies, which
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
got a total 6-pack, and she said her abs like totally helped her with the previous
delivery.
birth. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, which
like,
makes
oh, is that
sense.
the secret?
That makes sense, though.
Uh-huh, yeah.
I would think you're using a lot of your stomach muscles, and
Totally.
if you're not in shape, that's not going to
So
help.
true, so true. So what'd she say? She did like 4 pushes,
Yeah,
push, like
that's
1, 2,
crazy.
3, 4, and the baby was out.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy the delivery they filmed with Courtney.
Oh my
And
gosh.
she like pulled her child out. I
Yeah,
know. I was like, "Whoa, you can do that?
She did that again. Like I don't know. They did film like for the second child as well.
It wasn't the
and
same.
literally it wasn't the same, but she still pulled it out.
When I saw that, though, like we've all been traumatized by like movies and like just everything of like births. Like when I saw that,
Right.
it actually gave me hope that it's not going to
Oh,
be like
yeah.
as bad.
I was like, if that's how it goes, then all right.
I feel like Courtney, all she has to do is sneeze and a child comes out because
She was like doing yoga and had a baby. Like,
I know she literally would just like it was halfway out and she just bends down, like pulls it out, and I was like, oh, like I can just feel
yeah,
the burn.
kind of crazy, but
Feel it.
yeah, but so Shanola Hampton, yeah, she was funny. I liked her a lot. So then they go into some questions, and it got kind of I enjoyed it actually. I liked the questions. Lance, you know how he kind of got outed for being gay, and how I felt so bad, like kind of how he kind of got forced to come out publicly.
especially with something so private that you're not ready to be judged for on like the world scale, just because people will go in about anything with their opinions, you know, online, everywhere. And I think it was good at least that his friends and family knew, which that was great to hear, that at least the people closest to him were already aware, so it wouldn't just be like a total shock or like a huge secret to everybody.
Right.
So
That would be yeah. I mean, it was. I think it was definitely hard for him because he was in a boy band for so long, and he
Right.
was like idolized by millions of girls and teenage girls, and
Totally.
he had to totally play that I'm a straight guy role when he wasn't. You know, so that had to have been hard. I felt, you know, and then he tells the story about how he was out, like I think in his hometown, and he was at a gay bar in line for waiting in line for the bathroom, and he met like actually a guy that ended up being one of his good friends while they were waiting in line, and a reporter behind him heard them talking, and then released it into the press.
And then he said like they got a call saying, "Hey, we're gonna do the story like
With or without, yeah.
you." So he had to like come up with it within
Yeah.
24 hours and be like, "Dang, that's crazy."
And that was
Crazy
like
stuff.
that was kind of a little bit before like people I think were more acceptable about people
Right.
like being gay and like in the media and
Right.
I totally remember that magazine on the stands, and like the title was just like
I'm gay, right?
like and he's like,
really yeah. They showed a picture of it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's awful.
I was like, how like that would be so crazy to just be like.
And you wonder if he did the photo shoot or if that was just a stock
No,
photo.
no, that
Yeah,
was
stock
not a photo
photo.
shoot.
Just total.
He didn't want to
But-
even do that
Yeah.
article.
I just
so.
love it. He's like what can I say?
They're like, let's find the picture that captures this the most. And I felt so
Yeah.
bad for him. And then he also said that I forgot the term that like he got quoted as he came up with, like pretty much
SAG, I think, something
SAG,
along those
like
lines.
a straight acting gay guy, I believe, is
Yeah.
and how he still gets criticized and like people. Come
Right,
up
and
to
he
him.
didn't even come up with the term, is what he was saying. So it's like, that's rough too, because once you're kind of associated with that idea, people will just go, you did mean that, even when you genuinely may have not meant that.
Yeah,
It's just
I mean,
crazy.
especially in the community when they
Right.
people like in that community like they're tight with each other,
Yeah.
like they're close, so they don't want to feel betrayed by like someone that.
Exactly.
like
And
that.
that's what he was saying, is he wasn't quite ready to become the spokesperson. He wasn't afraid of the lifestyle or anything. He just wasn't necessarily ready to, you know, speak on behalf of everybody in the
Right.
community in a way that would please everyone.
And
Yeah.
it's like, come on, if you look at his career, like he was probably made to be like, say you're straight
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
because you'll ruin like NSYNC.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
So
I
it's
wonder
great
if
to
any
see
of the
them
NSYNC
now.
guys knew or not.
I bet you they do
Mm-hmm.
because they were
Probably.
all pretty close.
He probably told them.
I think
I'm
so.
sure. I wonder if they were like, because they were all so young. I wonder
know.
how they like at first. I wonder if they were comfortable or.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I know.
That'd be interesting.
Speaking of the whole spokesperson thing, like a lot of people have been giving Caitlyn Jenner a hard time because of, you know, how she says she's Republican, and a lot of Republicans are not as for trans people as the Democrat Party. And so Caitlyn has gotten so much hate for that, and it's just crazy because, you know, she didn't ask to be the spokesperson for this or that. Like she just I saw her the other day like on an episode where someone was rioting outside of her hotel or event, and she went up to them and she's like, I'm not trying to represent you, I'm just being me or whatever like that. So it's kind of crazy how, you know, just because you're famous, all of a sudden you're thought of as like the spokesperson who's got to
Right.
like, you know,
and like nobody would have a
run the
problem
show.
with Bruce Jenner being a Republican, and like,
No.
you know, she is the same person, so it's like just because that changes doesn't mean like your
yeah.
Right.
political beliefs are going to change.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So-
think honestly, like whenever Caitlyn was her former self, like no one knew, I don't think, that she was a Republican, because like on the Diane Sawyer special, she's like, I'm Republican, and she's like, what? And like the whole world, that's when they freaked out. So like it's just crazy
Interesting.
to think of like how people
would-
don't really care unless you come out with a story like this. And
Yeah.
And then it
Crazy
changes.
I mean, I
stuff.
don't. Yeah, like I don't think it would have been a big deal if Bruce Jenner announced he was a Republican.
yeah.
It's pretty. Like I would think, yeah. But I forget how they got into discussing the People versus OJ. Which
I have to watch that.
I'm such a fan of that show.
Me
so
too.
I
I've
talk
watched
about
all the episodes.
Is it on Netflix or no?
No.
FX.
Yeah.
FX.
FX, and it's very, very good, and it's done very, very well.
I think it might be on Hulu though now.
Okay.
I think I've been getting episodes on Hulu, so maybe.
Maybe. Hopefully eventually
Yeah.
Netflix. Maybe.
Bring it to Netflix.
Yeah.
But they were talking about how, you know, Khloé's dad was portrayed, Robert Kardashian, and David Schwimmer plays him. And he does do a great job. But
Wow,
I
he
think
did.
there was a comment about, they were saying, like, oh, it's great to see that side of, like, how your dad was, like, a hero and how your dad was so, like, genuine and loyal, because we would have never known. And, I mean, that's true. It is true.
It definitely showed a good side to him. I felt like you just saw how much he wanted to stay a friend to OJ, but yet he was in the middle of hearing the other side from his wife Chris, who is on the firm belief that he killed Nicole.
Nicole was her best friend.
Right, exactly. So it's like he was having to be on both sides, and also witnessing the DNA evidence. He mentioned in a later interview that that was the only thing he was ever really skeptical of.
Yeah, I mean, he started, it had been so tough because he was friends with OJ, went to college with
Right.
him. And, you know, he was like, they were like family to each other's kids. And then, like, you know, that happens. You're trying to be loyal to your friend and you're looking at the evidence and you're looking, like, well, you know, on the
Right.
show, they're like, well, why are there no other suspects? Like, all the evidence points to that. So it's like, what do you
Right.
do? You know, and he
Yeah.
couldn't really do it. He really couldn't do anything.
He was in a tough place, and yeah, I mean, I think the show just does such justice for so many of the characters. It just shows you the good and bad side of everybody, which I like that they didn't shy away and try to make either side look too heroic without showing that there was like fumbles or just weird misperceptions out of things that were said all throughout the case.
Yeah. And then Khloé was saying, you know, I think they use, you know, our characters in the Kardashian name so much because it's to get like the younger viewers that
Right,
don't
to
know
relate
that.
to the
Yeah.
case
So
from
be
that
like,
years
hey,
ago.
watch this show.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, because it is. I mean, it was like one of the biggest cases in U.S. history.
Oh,
So,
totally.
I mean, if you were too young to have lived through that, I mean, it's
I
very
know.
interesting.
That's why I'm so excited. I have to go watch it because like I'm
You're
literally.
making me feel old.
Did they do an after show here for that or no?
I believe they did.
I think so. Yeah.
They did. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
So you gotta
I
check
gotta
it
watch
out.
it. Gotta watch it.
so I don't know, guys. What do you guys have anything else that we would like to talk about?
The only other thing I really want to talk about before we get into our news and gossip section is that I love how E was the one that told the Kardashians, "Hey, Lindsay Lohan, you know, had to drop out for her show. So if you guys, we're just gonna do like this filler really quick. Don't get too comfortable. We're just gonna film you for like a few things. Like it's not gonna be a big deal, and then you're out. Don't get comfortable."
And that guy got fired.
Yeah, he got fired, and literally this has been like I think they're on their 12th season. They're gonna be starting on May 1st.
One of the biggest shows ever.
Yeah.
Speaking
it.
of Lindsay Lohan, she just got engaged, I saw. So
Really?
wow,
at
yeah.
that.
To
Look at
I
her.
think
Saw
he's
that.
like early 20s or 20, I want to say. So
She's been out of
congratulations.
she's been out of the public eye. I mean, in a bad. She was. I mean, God, it was so bad for a while.
Well,
it was a train
yeah.
wreck. Like, I'm so glad that she seems like she's kind of like turned her life around a little bit. Nothing
Right.
bad has happened to her because everyone thought the worst. You know.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm glad.
totally.
It's good to see her happy.
Having some good news, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I think that maybe we should get into news and gossip.
Yeah.
All right.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right. Fill us in. Do you want
All
to
right,
start?
you know what? I will.
some
I have
pictures.
two things really quick. Khloé recently did her cover for Shape magazine, and it is her in this gray, like leotard type of thing. And she actually was not very happy about this cover. She was actually
I read
saying,
that.
yeah, like on Twitter, she said, "I love Shape magazine and I'm thrilled to be on the cover, but we took so many better cover images. I wish they would have used the other set the other setups over that simple
that.
gray look.
But
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
I'm surprised that like she wouldn't get the final like approval of her picture that's gonna be
I
on the
know.
cover, or Chris wouldn't get it.
Yeah, and a lot of places now are not giving the celebrities the final say. They're
it's
just
not the best picture of her, to be honest.
I honestly love the shot.
You do?
I don't know why. I think it is because it's more of a simple look.
Yeah,
And
I like it.
She said, and how crazy that me, the fat one, is on the cover of Shape. Haha. And it's like that kind of really
Well,
I thought that was funny
she looks great. She's in shape.
She does look great. I read a little bit of her fitness tips and about her newfound confidence. She said, I love my shape because I've earned every curve. I work hard in the gym to get it. She also, mentioned her relationship previously. She said, when Lamar and I broke up in 2013, I had all these emotions that I didn't know what to do with. Some people suggested therapy, but instead I joined my local Equinox gym where I get on an elliptical and watch really bad reality TV. I'm like, hey. As a result, I started losing weight. Once I realized I could shed some pounds that way, I began working out regularly with my trainer, Gunnar Peterson, and I made a commitment to get healthy. He taught me that the trick to staying motivated is to find what you really love to do. So we did cardio, calisthenics, circus training. That would be kind of cool, though, right?
Circus training.
Cool.
Pilates and boxing, a little.
Yeah, circus
Lion.
training. Love it. And
Yeah.
That would be a workout, though.
the other thing that I have is that Khloé is now starting to actually film episodes for her new show, Revenge Body, coming out on E! And she quotes this Instagram photo, "Revenge is best served hot." And this photo caused a little bit of backlash because it looks like in the photo, you can't see it from here, but she is wearing a little bit of pasties and it's very clear around everything else. So literally just a little black circle is covering her areas.
Interesting. I'm excited for that show.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
Because I really believe in that. Like, that is the best feeling. Like, if after you go through anything traumatic in life, especially a bad breakup, to get
Right.
like in the best shape of your life.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
and to look good, feel good.
and
You're
you
like,
feel
girl.
so great and so empowered. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Good
and
for
I
her.
know it's sad. We only have one more episode of this
I know.
after show. Next week will be our last, and
Tear.
we were all really sad for Khloé. It's like, her show's been canceled, but she's got this other show that she's already
Yeah.
started filming, so she's gonna be good.
Yeah.
She'll do just fine.
I think it's good in your career is like to try different things out,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like see what fits, see what you love, and if you don't love something, be fair to like move
Yeah.
on to something else.
Definitely. I mean, Chloe's a smart businesswoman, honestly. They all are. So I think she's got a lot on her plate and she'll
Yeah.
she'll be busy nonetheless.
She'll be good. I did I can't even talk. I did read something about Khloé also, though, recently, like this past weekend, that she's like finally going to divorce Lamar. She posted a really like sad Twitter message
I
about
saw.
letting go and not being able to save someone. And
They have to want to change is kind of what it
It's
said.
been
I mean,
years,
I was-
and he just doesn't want to make the change.
I mean, I thought I had high hopes when he like was okay and came out of the hospital, but I guess you don't know what's going on, obviously. But
Someone who's stuck on a bad pattern like that, it is so hard for them to shake. And it's just one of those things we've seen Lamar the past few years like just spiral out of control. And we finally thought this is
Near
going to make
death?
him better. Yeah, but I don't know. He's got the toughest head. He's like, you know what? No, I'm going to keep doing these things, and it's really heartbreaking.
yeah, and she, you do have to let go, and as sad and heartbreaking as it can be, like Khloé, she can't have that like held to her anymore.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't blame her. If I was her, I would do the exact same thing.
And I'm sure she's got a lot of suitors lined up just ready to.
yes, I'm sure.
Take her on a
She's
lovely
looking very
date.
hot these days.
Yeah, I feel like she's been rocking some awesome looks all this season. Super cute.
Yeah, and the preview for the last episode, her hair's super short. So I'm wondering if she
know.
cut it or if it was a wig or what. But she
It
looks
looks
great.
great. And then they're going to have Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Kim Kardashian, Kanye West on there. So it's going to be couples night. And you can see
Yes.
that they're all definitely going to be talking about their kids as
Yeah.
Chrissy's pregnant. Kim just had Saint. So it looks like it's going to be a super
yeah.
steamy and awesome episode.
I'm excited.
It looks good. I was gonna, we normally do predictions on the show, but obviously there's one episode left. But I
Yeah.
was gonna say, like, what do we predict like for that episode then? And you kind of
Oh,
started
yeah.
it
Okay,
off,
there's my
so-
prediction. So
Yeah.
what do you guys think?
I think that we're definitely obviously going to hear more about what Kanye has planned for this, presidency that he's going to try to achieve. He said, I think I only want to serve or like do 4 years though. So I'm like really interested to see what is going to happen with this. I don't know. I mean, obviously I don't think that a lot of people would vote for him just because I don't think that they would, but who knows? Who knows?
I mean, we do have Donald Trump. I mean, he could always be the vice president to Donald Trump, and it could just be a full-on circus.
I feel like everybody would move to Canada real
I
fast.
know.
I'm like, hi guys, I'm moving to London
Yeah.
now. I'll see you later.
Yeah, seriously.
No,
London sounds good. I'll go with you.
Yeah, London's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love Chrissy and John Legend, so I'm really kind of excited to hear them on the show and talk about their, like, you know, expected daughter that's arriving.
Yeah.
And Chrissy and all her this is actually would be interesting. I would like to see Chrissy get in the kitchen with Sharon, because she's known for her crazy cooking and her cooking shows, for them to do like a little cook-off battle.
Oh, that'd be
That
cool.
would be great. By
my
the way,
gosh.
that drink tonight was looking amazing. I wanted one of those so bad. Probably like 3, actually.
Oh, yeah, the adult milkshake. I think
Yeah,
is what
I'm
they
like,
call
that
it.
sounds heavenly. I'm all about those blended drinks. Horchata coladas, people.
Well, I think they
Oh.
have the recipes on the website for the show, I think.
Oh
So you
boy,
could-
that's a dangerous piece of information for me.
Yes. Speaking
Maybe-
of recipes, really quick, one of our AfterBuzz TV creators, Maria Menounos, actually just recently came out with her own cookbook. I know this. I think she's came out with one before.
A few
Yeah.
other
A
books.
few other
yeah,
books,
it's just
but
every girl.
she's
Quite the author.
The Every Girl's Guide to Cooking, right?
No, yes, that's the recent
The
book.
recent one. So
Yes.
guys, go check that out. It is literally like awesome, and I can't wait to get my copy because
Looks delicious, all of the recipes.
Yeah.
And there's so many for those of you who are on the go all the time, you know, needing a snack in the car or at work, and just little healthy options that'll keep your energy up. And they're so fresh and delicious.
Yeah.
So definitely check it out.
I'm excited.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, do we have anything else we want to discuss from the show today?
I think that about wraps it up. And we will be seeing Justine back next week.
Yes.
For those of you
Yes.
missing her, she'll be back.
All right, guys. Well, tell everyone where they can find you.
Once again, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha_Benitz. See you guys next week.
And you guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Laila Sadny. Thank you guys for watching. Come back next week. We'll have our full panel and our last show.
Aw.
So thank you all.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.